Adverse childhood experiences, causes, effects, and prevention. What are adverse childhood experiences? Adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs, can be defined as traumatic events that occur to a person before the age of 18. There are 10 main ACEs in the following categories: abuse, whether physical, emotional, or sexual; household dysfunction, such as mental illness, incarcerated relative, mother treated violently, substance abuse, and divorce; neglect, either emotional or physical. ACEs are unfortunately very common. The three most common ACEs are parental separation, emotional neglect, and domestic violence. 85% of all children will experience at least one ACE, and females tend to report a higher number of ACEs than males. We went over the 10 main ACEs. Now let's take a closer look into how these appear in children's lives. The three categories of adverse childhood experiences include abuse, household dysfunction, and neglect. There are three branches of abuse: emotional abuse, which occurs when a parent or adult in the house swears at or puts down a child. Physical abuse is when an adult in the house hits or beats a child. Sexual abuse is when an individual who is at least 5 years senior the child attempts and/or succeeds in sexual touching or sexual acts with said child. There are five branches of household dysfunction. The first is intimate partner violence. This is when there is abuse by, to, or between parents or household members. The second is substance abuse, when a household member is a problem drinker, alcoholic, or user of street drugs. The third is mental illness, meaning a member of the household struggles with a mental illness. Fourth, parental separation or divorce occurs between parents. The fifth is having a member of the household that is or has been incarcerated. There are two main branches of neglect. If an adult is emotionally neglectful, they never or very seldom make the child feel protected and cared for, resulting in the child feeling unsafe. If an adult is physically neglectful, they never or very seldom make an effort to meet a child's most basic needs, like food, clothing, and shelter. Stress is a normal emotion for children to feel. The two primary responses to stress are the sympathomedullary pathway, also referred to as SAM, and the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal system, referred to as HPA. As you can see in the SAM diagram, an external stressor activates the hypothalamus, activating the adrenal medulla. The adrenal medulla then secretes adrenaline, which prepares the body for fight or flight. The HPA diagram shows how an external stressor activates the hypothalamus. A series of further activations occur, and cortisol is released to help the body obtain adequate blood sugar levels and handle a prolonged stressor. This mediates the stress response and helps to calm the body down. Despite the experience of stress being normal, too much stress can have dramatic impacts. If a child experiences a considerable amount of ACEs and does not have enough subsequent support from an adult, the child may develop toxic stress. How toxic stress affects the brain. The toxic stress associated with adverse childhood experiences poses a significant issue for the brain's development and functioning. Toxic stress can greatly affect the crucial systems of the brain in the following ways. First, the stress pathway, or the way our body responds to stress. Stress creates HPA axis dysfunction, leaving the body unable to regulate processes like mood and energy, which can lead to symptoms of anxiety and depression. A decrease in hippocampal volume occurs, impacting one's ability to learn and retain information, thus resulting in impaired learning and memory. Second, emotional processing and regulation. Gray matter area in the prefrontal cortex decreases, inhibiting muscle control and sensory perception, resulting in reduced attentional control. The amygdala volume increases, heightening sensitivity to feelings of anger, fear, and sadness, creating an overwhelming sense of hypervigilance. Third, the evaluation of reward. The reward response in the ventral striatum is decreased, creating anhedonia, or difficulty experiencing feelings of joy. Fourth, brain connectivity. The pathway from the amygdala to the prefrontal cortex is interrupted, decreasing the activity in the default mode network and increasing activity in the salience networks. This reduces self related thinking while frequenting shifts in attention. This results in difficulty understanding the relevance of situations and how to respond to them. Individuals with ACE scores 4 or higher are at significantly greater risk for many health issues later in life, including but not limited to drug and alcohol abuse, cancer, heart disease, and suicide. Generational impact of ACEs. Epigenetics describes whether specific genes are used or not used in our bodies. Every experience we have influences our epigenetic profile or the physical structure of our DNA. Adverse experiences influence the way our bodies respond to stress, and this response can be passed down through our genetic code to future generations. This contributes to intergenerational trauma, where an offspring experiences post traumatic struggles caused by their parents' experiences. Prevention and mitigation of adverse childhood experiences. The CDC provides professional prevention strategies to approach adverse childhood experiences, including strengthening economic supports, changing social norms to support positive parenting, providing quality care and education to children early in life, enhancing parenting skills to promote healthy development, as well as intervening to prevent and reduce harm in adverse conditions. Prevention requires addressing all four levels of social ecology. The individual level deals with promoting positive attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors. The relationship level suggests family focused and peer mentoring programs for healthy relationships. Community focuses on impacting the environment on a social and physical level. The societal level addresses social and economic inequalities and their connection to violence. How can parents help? Parents can provide a safe, secure environment for the child, as well as creating a nurturing relationship with the child to help reset the body's stress system. Regular checkups with a pediatrician are recommended to monitor emotional, mental, and physical health. An appropriate caregiver environment needs to include knowledge of normal child development and expectations, skills in coping with stress, opportunities to develop normal and healthy parent child attachment, appropriate caregiver knowledge of home care, opportunities and willingness to share parental responsibilities, and provision of necessary services. To review, traumatic events that occur before the age of 18 are commonly caused by parental separation, emotional neglect, and domestic violence, generalized as ACEs. Any adverse experience creates stress for a child, which can possibly alter their mental, physical, and biological state permanently. It is oftentimes parents that are neglecting and or abusing their own children. Prevention and mitigation can start with you. As we work to change the conversation and awareness of these issues, I urge you to be on the lookout for signs of neglect, abuse, and dysfunction in the lives of children around you. I encourage you to take the steps to prevent the cycle of generational trauma. Go forward with the recognition of the impact that you have on the lives of children. Thank you.